It's like butter. It's awesome. Hi, I'm Joe, and welcome to MotorCity Boat Works. Let's get to work. Welcome back to the shop. There's a lot of things going on in the boat works this week. I've got packages coming in for a variety of components that are going to be going inside my pocket trawler behind me. I'm also working on the Skipper 20 sailboat, trying to finish out the summer season by getting as much of the exterior of the boat done as possible. This episode, I want to talk about a component that's often overlooked when people are building their small boats. You don't really hear them discuss their helm station, their helm chair, how everything's going to go together. This episode, I'm going to talk about choosing and installing the helm chair for my pocket trawler. In the 1980s, most Albin 27s came from the factory with some sort of a single chair or maybe a bench seat positioned right in front of the helm steering wheel. Over the years, various owners have changed these seats out. On my boat, the helm seat was a plastic Todd captain's chair. It came with a cushion and it was bolted on a non-adjustable pedestal. I always wanted to change this seat out. I wanted something that was a little bit more fancy, a little more like Captain Kirk's chair. But like all things on a small trawler, well, there's not much room and you've got to figure out what exactly will fit. And you could you swivel?
I don't know if you could swivel, to be honest with you, because it would depend on how big this is. You only have, right, we're at 12.5 inches.
It turns out that for a swiveling chair, the maximum width of the chair is going to be determined by the radius of the footprint of the chair. When a chair is against a bulkhead like this, it's 2 times the radius. In my case, the radius is 12.5 inches. The maximum width of any seat I choose needs to be 25 inches or less. The minimum height is determined by where the engine bay doors open. You don't want the chair to interfere with that. But the real question is, what is the proper chair height and how do you determine that? This question of seat height is a very personal one. It's different for everybody. People have their own tastes, how high they want to sit, how low they want to sit relative to the deck of the boat, and how it affects what they can see. I want to take a moment to thank all the other Albin 27 owners that I contacted, asking them, kind of canvassing them, trying to figure out, well, what height was their seat so that I could know if I was in the ballpark. John and Rick and James and Tony, the other John, I want to thank all of you for the input that you provided, the photographs and everything. The measurements were very helpful. To determine what height I really needed, I decided to try and mock up my own helm chair. I used a stool and then tried to duct tape the Todd chair on top of that. When that didn't work, I ended up using some blocks of wood and various pieces of lumber, trying to adjust the height up or down so that my wife and I could get an idea of what works for us. So this is probably going to be what it's like. There'll be a railing, a handrail right here. This is a very tedious and kind of a precarious process. At this stage, it's all about making the boat work for you. Everything should be custom and just the way you like it. The original Todd chair that came with my boat was somewhere around 32.5 to 33 inches tall, way too tall for the situation. It turns out, after some experimenting, my wife and I determined that the perfect height for us was somewhere around 29.25 inches. There's actually a range between 29 and 30 inches because depending on how we were sitting, well, she needed about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch taller than I did. You have to know all these things before you start shopping for a helm chair, because chairs come in all different sizes from a variety of manufacturers with a variety of price levels. Everything from $100 up to thousands of dollars, depending on the components and how the chairs are constructed. New chairs are designated with an ABYC code that tell you what the chair can be used for. This is where my design parameters really come into play, because they're going to help me figure out which chair I should be selecting. Remember, I wanted a chair that was reclining. I wanted something that would swivel 360 degrees. I wanted it to be able to slide forward and back. I also wanted a chair that had adjustable armrests. I wanted something that was kind of luxurious, and it had to fit within the maximum width dimensions. The next thing you have to know is that a Helm chair is not just a chair. These features come from a combination of components that actually make up the Helm chair itself. A Helm chair is made up of 3 parts. There's the actual chair portion. This could be made of fabric or leather or some type of plastic over a frame. There's a seat base that the chair attaches to, and then there's the pedestal that attaches to the seat base. Pedestal is what's bolted to the deck of the boat. The seat base and the pedestal, they're what determine whether or not the chair has swivel or adjustable height or sliding back and forth. If you want all these features, you got to choose a proper seat base, a proper pedestal, and the right chair. Believe it or not, I ended up choosing a chair off of Amazon. It cost about $500, and it's called a Leader Accessories High Back Recliner Chair. I chose a sliding seat base from Springfield. I ended up reusing the Todd pedestal from the original chair. All right, let's see what we got here. This came today. This is going to be the captain's chair. This is the Helm chair for the pocket trawler, and I'm hoping it's in good shape. We're gonna open it up. Oh, there's cardboard inside here, double bag. Ooh, I'm excited, I'm so excited. Man, that looks great. This is nice. Boy, it's really pretty nice quality. I'm impressed. I thought for an Amazon special, I didn't think it would be this good. Look at that. That's like some leather. It's very, very nice. Today in the Boat Werks, I'm working on mounting the base of the pedestal to the Helm chair. And we've got the new Helm chair here, and then we've got this base. Basically, the Helm chair is made up of 3 parts, right? You've got the pedestal itself, you've got the base, right, which is the underside of the Helm chair, and then you have the actual chair itself. And so what I've done is I've taken the old base off of the Todd pedestal chair, which is this aluminum piece right here, and I've bolted it to the new slider. This is the front back slider right here. And I've got that all assembled. Now I'm gonna take this and get it mounted onto the bottom of the chair, right? And then once I have that all assembled, I'll take some measurements, and then that will give me an idea of how much material I need to cut off of the pedestal so that I can get this whole thing to be the proper height at the helm station on board the pocket trawler. The first thing I'm going to do is assemble the chair base and actually attach it to the bottom of the chair. When you order something like this online, right, it doesn't come with its own hardware, so you got to make sure you get the proper size hardware. What I've got is 1 inch long, 1/4 by 20 stainless steel bolts. These are standard 1/4 washers. This is a 1 inch fender washer, stainless, for the 1/4 bolt, but these have ended up being too big. So to be honest with you, what you really need is something in between a standard washer and the 1 inch. Is probably a 3/4 fender washer, but I don't have any of those on hand. Make sure you have all your hardware ahead of time. I get all of my bolts online at boltdepot.com. I don't get compensated in any way, but I've been using them for years. Yeah, I'm just going to tell you, this is the crazy thing. So you go to a big box store, you buy your stainless steel. This is why I prefer to buy it online, and I'll buy 10 or 20 pieces at a time. Always buy even numbers in your bolts, your fasteners, because everything you put together always has even fasteners, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, whatever. No one puts something together and has 7 fasteners. And that's what they sell them in. They sell them in a package. These come with 7 in a package. The 1 inch ones come with 5 in a package. What good does that do you? You got to put something together with 6. Buy them online, buy them from boltdepot.com, and buy bulk. They'll be, half the price or even better, and you'll have an entire collection of hardware that you can then use later on for a variety of projects. So what I do is I kind of get the bolts started in here, make sure they're lined up. Be careful, there's a metal plate inside here, so you got to be careful. It's threaded. You don't want to strip the threads. You want to make sure that these things are going in nice and smooth, and kind of leave everything loose till we get them all aligned, and then we'll tighten them down here. So one of the things you'll notice is that there's a different configuration pattern here for different types of chairs. The standard configuration, I think, is basically like a 5x5 pattern, which is basically the 4 bolts we've got on here. But there are other configurations depending if you have, you know, some type of a custom chair or something like that. Well, they follow a certain bolt pattern. So the 5x5 is pretty standard. That's what you're going to find in all your big box stores and online. The Todd was a 5x5. All that's the same. And so what you want is when you're picking this, you want to pick one with the metal, all metal gear system, because the plastic will wear down over time. You want the metal. It's quite a bit more robust. It'll last a lot longer and it won't wear down. So you can see you get a really nice kind of engagement there. Next thing I'm going to do is size the pedestal to match the chair. So this is a pedestal. This is the original pedestal for the Todd chair. It's in really good shape. I debated getting a new one. I debated getting one that went up and down, but the reality is that the ones that go up and down, they go from about 12 inches all the way to, say, 18 or 19 inches. But at 18 or 19 inches, the two pieces are hyperextended and they are wobbly. And no one wants to have a wobbly Helm chair, right? So I like the idea of a straight Helm chair. And I prefer to have all my adjustments with the slider or with a 360 or with a recliner on the chair. Instead of having it go up and down on a trawler, you need to have it fixed at one height. This is the pedestal. You can take a look at it. It's all aluminum. It's welded on the bottom, which means this and this, they're now one piece. This is the top. This plastic collar goes on here. I think it just stays there and acts as a bushing with the metal. You can see the holes. When the chair's set on top here with the base, there's a pin goes through here and locks this. What we've got to do is this goes up inside the base of the chair, so we've got to determine how tall this thing needs to be. I've gone ahead and cleaned this thing up. We polished it as best I could, and it had kind of mixed results. This particular part came relatively clean, although there's some, like, I don't know, scratches or some nonsense on here. But the base, well, turns out this is anodized. Something has been spilt on this over time, and it's damaged the anodized thing. It's not really worth messing with. I got it as clean as I could, and then the anodization started coming off, so I just decided to leave it, and we'll just call it a nice patina. Okay? In order to size the pedestal properly, we've got to take some of the measurements I made earlier and figure out how big this thing should be. We need to know the height of the seat base, that's the swivel and the slider together. I also need to know how thick is the bottom of the seat cushion. I need to know how far the pedestal goes inside the plastic bushing so I can figure out how far it goes up inside the seat base. And by using all those measurements and my target height for the seat, I'm able to determine that I've got to take off about 8 inches from the pedestal. Don't worry, the math is all going to work out, trust me. Believe me when I tell you that I did this math 3 or 4 times. I had my wife check my calculations. I was wrong half of the time. But in the end, it all worked out okay. All right, we got to clean this up. That's heavy. All right. Now in this case, I'm using the original mounting holes where the pedestal was originally attached. I may ultimately have to move the chair back an inch or two since it's got some different proportions than the original Todd chair, but that's okay. This is all about dry fitting everything to see if there's going to be any problems.
Ho, that's pretty good. You know, in looking at the original installation, I don't have the hardware that was originally in here, but I'm able to determine that the holes are 1/4, but the holes inside this base, they are not 1/4. They're probably more like 5/16. I even double check, see if they're 3/8, but they're definitely not 1/4. So when you have a oval Phillips head bolt that you put inside here, it may drop down too far and there's not enough lip holding it. I don't remember whether they had washers on here or... But in any case, it's as though they had undersized hardware holding this to the deck. We'll fix that. Look at that. After all that, we finally have a moment of completion. I think it turned out pretty well. I gotta tell you, this chair is absolutely beautiful. The leather finish on it is pretty amazing. I'm really happy with how this turned out. We'll do some fiddling on the actual adjustment points, but I think it's going to be spot on for our purposes. I think at this stage of the game, the only question is whether or not the base of the chair needs to be moved back a little bit more, where the pedestal mounts. Maybe move it back an inch or two. That might give a little bit more room for coming in front of the chair and being able to stand. Things are a little tight right now. I've got to take some measurements with the autopilot installed to see if that changes the depth of the Helm wheel. Once I do that, then I'll have a better idea whether or not something needs to be changed. But for now, I think it looks pretty good. Next episode, I'll be back with another component install on my pocket trawler project. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I want to thank you for stopping by. We'll see you next time. Stay motivated.
If you like these videos, please hit the subscribe button. These videos would not be possible without your support.